If you're looking for the most effective schemes for the Madden 21 season, make sure to head over to acemadden.com. Our Pro and Elite memberships offer you access to over 10 ebooks that our pro players from TNC are going to be releasing over the next 12 months. And if you want to become a member, make sure to use code ACE for 10% off at checkout. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ace, and we're back at it again with some 3-4 Cub run defense. So I posted a video on this a couple days ago. I claimed it's the best run defense in the game, and I still believe that. I really believe it is the best run defense versus heavy formations like IForm and strong. Now, there are exceptions, and we're going to talk about those, how you need to set up this defense a little bit differently if they come out in a certain formation or a few different formations. The video got crazy praise. I really appreciate everybody who dropped a like or watched it or commented. It really helps me out. If you guys haven't seen that video, please go back and watch it before you watch this one. I'll drop it in the description, as well as I'll put a card in the top right now, and you can go watch that video if you haven't. I recommend seeing that before you watch this video. So 3-4 Cub, for those of you who already watched that video, the plays cover 4 quarters. And let's talk about special exceptions like Deuce close. Okay, so we're going to talk about Deuce close real quick. We're going to set up the defense, spread your D-line, spread your linebackers, and crash to the strong side. The problem is, what is the strong side? Well, it's a symmetrical formation. There's technically no strong side. So I was having a conversation with a subscriber a couple days ago, and he was basically telling me, which way do you crash? There is no strong side. I told him, you're going to crash to the side of the quarterback's dominant hand. So why is that important? On dives, you technically get a faster dive when they're handing it off to their strong side. I'll illustrate that for you in a second. Unfortunately, Deuce close doesn't have a dive. So basically, if you see symmetrical and the quarterback is right-handed, you're going to want to crash to the right side. So in this case, we're going to consider the strong side the right side. So we're going to crash right. After you do that, we're going to hide with our weak side linebacker. Since the strong side we have designated as the right side, this is our weak side linebacker, and we're going to user him like this. So what happens if they run stretch to the right? Well, let's take a look. You're going to see what happens. We do have a free guy coming over the top, and that's to be expected. So again, strong side is the right, crash right, and then flow over the top with your linebacker. And you're going to see we have a really good edge set. Well, actually, in this case, I would actually probably blitz my edge defender because he's kind of dropping back. You see how this is very important. Watch this. This is going to be one of those special exceptions. You see how he kind of looks like he's getting blown off the ball? He's really not. The reason this is happening is because he's in a zone and he's dropping. And we don't want that. So here's what you can do. If they're running stretch to the strong side and you want a little bit more help, you will sacrifice a little bit in pass coverage, but this is going to help setting the edge. So you're going to double tap your D-pad to the right. That's going to open your linebacker menu. And then you're going to hit B, which is your outside linebacker on the strong side. Right stick down, that's going to blitz him. So what's going to happen now, you're going to see he sets a strong edge, and he does not get blown off the ball. Well, he didn't get blown off the ball, but you know what I mean. He was dropping. So you're going to see again, JPP, our edge defender, is going to set a really strong edge here. Instead of dropping back, it's going to be really hard to bounce that out if you're Christian McCaffrey. And our best player on defense, Lavonte David, is ready to make the play. So what's going to happen if they flip the stretch and run it to the weak side? Well, since it's symmetrical formation, they do have that benefit of flipping without telling us. And that's one of the appeals of a formation like Deuce close. So we're going to do the exact same setup. I'm actually going to blitz JPP just to have a little support if they decide to run to the strong side. And here's one of the exceptions here if they run it to the weak side. So I just flip the run. It's going to go left. And your responsibility as this user, since we know it's Deuce close and they don't have a dive, we do not necessarily have to worry about shooting inside the A gap. Now, if it's a wham and they have a wham, yes, you're going to have to be more cautious of this. But really what I'm going to do with Devin White is since he's being targeted by the left guard, I'm actually going to kind of drop back like this when I see it stretch left. And you're going to see what happens is we do not get blocked. And you're going to see we can make the play. So we also have that safety coming down. I think it was a safety. It might have been a cornerback. Coming down to help us a little bit. It was a cornerback. So I do have the benefit, of course, of knowing that it was stretch left. Like, obviously, I flipped the play myself. I know it's stretch left. But here's what I'll do for you. Just to show you that I'm not going to get picked up. I will delay my sprint out there just a little bit. Stretch left. I'm going to wait a second. And then we're going to get out. So let me show you why this works. And why this is important versus Deuce close. So the reason we have to play it like this is because we're not actually hidden right now. So you're going to see what happens. Pay attention to the left guard. He's going to recognize us immediately, and he's going to chase us. Well, he doesn't have the speed to chase us. So all we really want to do here is waste him. We just want to basically get out, make him block nothing. When you make him block nothing, you're going to make the play. If he gets a hold of you, it's going to be up to your cornerback to make the play. If the cornerback does not make the play, it might be a touchdown. So that's what you're going to do against Deuce close. The next formation we're going to talk about is IForm slot close. There is a special exception with this formation, and I'll explain why. So it doesn't have a dive, so we don't have to worry about shooting dive. It does have a 94 will and a halfback blast, but we'll come out and stretch. That's probably the most common run out of this formation. So set it up just like we talked about in the past videos, or the past video. Which side is the strong side? So what you're going to do here is you're going to look at the left and the right. So first we'll start with the left. There's 2 receivers, and we're going to count the fullback as well. So that's going to be 3 players total. Now let's look at the right. We don't count the offensive line. We only count the skill position players. So the tight end and the fullback make 2 players. So that means that the right side is the weak side, and the left side is the strong side. So you're always going to crash towards the receivers here with your D-line. So D-pad left, crash left with your D-pad. Sorry, with your right stick. Okay, so what now? Well, the next step in the setup is to user the weak side linebacker. In this case, it's going to be Levante David. Well, what happens if we hide here and we run stretch? Well, you can make the play, but one thing I want to talk about, I'll show you. I'll do it again. So I have the benefit of knowing the stretch is going right, but we're going to show you why you actually don't want to user this guy. So we'll do an inside run. This will be a better example. So you see how we get gashed? Well, here's the deal. If you look on the right side, we outnumber them by a lot. Well, here's the thing. We're also outnumbered on the inside. So what do you have to do? If you see a formation like this where there's no receiver, they're really heavy on one side, and you basically have numbers advantage on one side, you're going to take the cornerback, and he's going to be your new user. And you're going to use him like a middle linebacker. So now if they run an inside run, you're going to see. By the way, I would typically hide behind my nose tackle. You're going to see what happens is now we have extra support in the middle, and we didn't come clean. We don't necessarily need to come clean. But the whole point is to get the numbers even. We don't need him out there on the right side. He's kind of being wasted. So keep that in mind. I can't go over every single formation in the game breaking down this run defense. You guys, hopefully I teach you guys well enough in this video the exceptions and how you need to get a little creative to get the numbers on your side again. But you see how we have that safety comes in clean. He's not even being blocked. JPP comes free. That's not going to happen every time, but that safety will come in clean. He's not blocked. Same setup. Here's our new user. What happens if they run stretch right? Where you're going to see, well, Christian McCaffrey's being Christian McCaffrey. But we had a guy come in free. That's going to happen consistently. I'll do it again. You're going to see we have probably our linebacker coming in free. Ended up being the safety that time. But there will be rare exceptions where it's a one-on-one. And if you get trucked or you get juked or whatever the case is, I'm sorry. Really, my whole goal is to get at least one guy free. Stretch right one more time. And you see we do have somebody coming free. You can't ask for much more than that. What happens if they flip it and run stretch to the left? Well, since we have the benefit of having this cornerback in the middle of the field, we can easily flow. We have a really good edge set in the first place, but it's going to be really hard for them to run outside against this defense if you're doing it properly. If you know what you're doing and you have the numbers, it's going to be super hard to run outside because your defensive line and your edge defenders do such a good job that it's easy to flow. Stretch left. That's kind of a freak 5 yards. It's not going to happen too often. Kind of missed with my user there. But, I mean, it's just good. It really is good. And I have not seen better from anybody. So right there, safety comes in free. And I'll show you with the inside runs that it's not a fluke. You're going to see that we now have the proper numbers on the inside. Safety comes in free, and he's going to make the play. One more time, I'm going to say there will be cases where it's a one-on-one with somebody, and if they break a tackle, it could be bad news for you. It's going to happen sometimes. So if you're playing Mutt, you're playing against a juiced Barry Sanders or something, there's always the possibility for the home run. This defense is not going to always get you two men free to the ball. It's just not going to happen. But I can assure you that you're more than likely going to have one. And try to make it count with that one. So that's going to be IForm slot close. The last formation we're going to talk about is Singleback wing pair. So I had a subscriber say he got toted on for like 200 yards against this formation. So yes, there's a reason why it's happening if you're using the same setup from the first video. I'm sorry that the setup I show you isn't universal across the entire game. The purpose of this video is to show you what you have to do in certain scenarios. And this is why I want to recap, or I want to cap off this video with this formation. So Singleback wing pair. And they don't have a dive in the Raiders playbook. But let me assure you, if they're running dive, you're just going to shoot it like every other dive that we do in the first video. The dive is not scary. What's scary is the stretch. So as always, we're going to come out in cover 4 quarters out of 3-4 cub. Crash to the strong side. That's going to be the right side. If you notice, our safeties are now on the line of scrimmage. We don't want that. You don't ever want that. Because what's going to happen is the offensive linemen or the tight ends are going to get their hands on them, and they are never going to shed. You don't want that. You want them to flow. So if you have time, back them off. I know you guys deal with getting quick snapped a lot, but you need to find the time to back them off against a formation like this. So the weak side is the left. So here's our user. And I'm going to show you why you can't user this guy. We're going to use somebody else, but let me first snap the ball. And, well, if he had better stick, the computer, he could have maybe made something happen, but he kind of cut it right back into us. So let's go to instant replay, and let's break down why stretch is a little scary to go against here. If you look to the left of the center, you're going to notice there's 2 linemen. There's a left guard and there's a left tackle. If you look on our defense, we have 4 players to the left side. So what does that mean? Well, if they run stretch right, we're effectively going to have multiple guys being wasted. Like, they're not going to be in the play at all. And we just don't want that, because if you look on the right, there's a right guard, a right tackle, 3 tight ends. If you look on our side, we have 5 players as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D lineman, linebacker, safety, outside linebacker, and outside cornerback. 5 versus 5. And it's going to be really easy for them to get a hat on hat. So here's what we're going to do. Here's our solution. You're going to spread. Do the exact same setup you always do. Get those safeties off the damn line. Bring this linebacker, who is our user traditionally. And this safety here is now going to be your new user. So if you pay attention, we now have 3 on the left. So we have the numbers advantage on the left. And then we now have another guy in position to make a play on the right. So get on your lineman like this. Be ready to shoot the dive if they do have a dive. And let's go ahead and run the stretch to the right. Let's see what happens this time. There's going to be a little bit more assistance for you. One thing I want to mention. So yes, this is a little harder against this formation because you have to move these guys back. You have to move this guy. Then you have to use this guy. Yes, it's a little more difficult. It's not that hard. If you get it down, you get used to running this defense. You can get it down before they quick snap you. A couple things I want to mention. If they keep running the stretch and they're getting like 4 or 5 yards on you because we're not shooting the stretch or anything, here's a couple things you can do. You can put B, so double tap Y or triangle, hit B, that's your outside cornerback, and you can do left stick down. Put him in a cloud flat. You can also do D-pad right twice, that's your linebacker menu. Hit B, that's our edge defender. Right stick down to blitz. This is going to give you a little more assistance on the stretch. So we'll live with that. Look, they got positive yards, but it's fine. It really is fine. We're containing it. And they can't run the dive. I'm telling you, they run dive, you're shooting right into this little gap right here. And we have tons of people over there ready to make the play. So try to do this as quickly as I can. You might not have time for, the cloud and the blitz on the right side. Maybe you will. If you can, do it. It'll help you. But you might not have time for that. But you will have time for everything else. And I'll do it one more time just to show you. It's really not that hard. See how that cornerback came down? Let's go to instant replay. This is why clouds are a little bit better than those outside quarters. And you can do it here because there's no receiver on the right side. Look at that. That's beautiful. Looks like he has all that room. And he crashes down and makes the open field tackle. So let's do it again. I don't have time for the other stuff, so let's go ahead and just run it. And then boom. We have it contained. And that's about as good as it's going to get. And I can't go over every formation in the game, guys. It would take me my entire YouTube career to do that. So what you have to do is watch these 2 videos, piece them together, and kind of use your brain for certain formations that I didn't go over. So there's going to be a couple other formations in the game where you'll be like, what the hell do I need to do here? All you need to do at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. So pay attention how many people are on each side. If you see you're getting gashed versus a certain run, you might notice a guy on the other side of the field isn't doing anything. And what you need to do is take that player and put him in a position to do something. And that's how you make run defense work. So hopefully these 2 videos together are going to help you shut down the run. We all hate playing people who only run. It's not fun. It doesn't really take any skill. Sorry if you watch these videos and you're a toter. Nobody likes playing a guy who runs it 90 to 100% of the time. So that's why I put out these videos for free, because I want to stop that shit. So hopefully you enjoyed. Please drop that like if you did. It helps me tremendously. You guys have been amazing with the support this year. Subscribe for that daily Madden 21 content. If you have any requests in the comment section, please let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow.